Okay, it's 5:15, Thursday, July 18th, at the Merrill Council Hall Chambers for the Marketing and Communications meeting. And we will call the meeting to order. And the first order of business is to approve the minutes from the June 27th.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay, agenda items for consideration. Discuss and approve the revenue and expense reports. The first report that we have is the Food Truck-A-Palooza revenue and expense report from Emily. I believe this covers everything now, Hallie?
I'm pretty positive, so I think we're good.
Okay.
Whether it's the last of it or not, it's looking good, so very well done.
Thank you.
Right. So it was a profitable event, and we will continue to use those funds to carry on next year with that. So congratulations, Hallie, for doing a good job on that. All the help that you had goes with it. We appreciate that. The June revenue and expense reports are included in here. And I just want to mention that Hallie and I sat down with Emily, and we kind of just reviewed to make sure that we are all on the same page as far as what's coming from which category and where we're at with things, so that when it comes time to work on budgeting for next year, we have a better idea. One of the things that we are going to need to be mindful of is this funding is, well, I don't know how I want to say it. It's not 100% guaranteed, so it's not like there's a flush constantly coming in, and so we have to be wise about how we spend it going forward, because the faster we spend it, the faster it's gone, and the shorter the marketing committee can carry forward, unless we find other ways to fund some of these things through the city budget itself. So I think that's just a good point to keep in mind going forward. Scott, I can see you have a question.
I do have a question. What about the Spectrum funds? Was Spectrum?
That's what
That's
we're
what
talking
these
about.
are coming from.
With that, are we negotiating that right now? Is that what's
Spectrum and cable companies for the last probably 5 to 7 years have been trying to get the federal, state, any kind of governmental bodies to let go of their franchise fees, which is basically what allowed Spectrum to gain a monopoly in the first place, at least in the state of Wisconsin.
Right.
And these 5% franchise fees were what allowed them to do that, because there was a cost to doing
Sure.
that sort of business. Now they're trying to get out of that deal, and
It's up in the legislation right now. Is that what's going on?
it's gone through so many different legislations and bills, and Texas is the only one that pushed it through for sure, and Texas has the worst cable service in the country.
Yeah.
So even though it was promised to the government that we will provide better service without these franchise fees.
Okay, so we should move forward, assuming it won't be, and if we do get it again, then we'll be able to adjust.
Well, that or just being very, that it's
Assume the worst.
likely going to decrease, if not totally go away. So
Correct me if I'm wrong, LaDonna, but I believe we do have some funding set aside, a non-lapsing account with this, but I'm assuming that's starting to dry up a little bit as well.
I think that this is the non-lapsing funding, and that's why the yellow lights are going up to say make sure we're on top of not over budgeting things. Rod, you have anything to add?
You are correct. This is the non-lapsing account that's created by channel, whatever that is.
986.
986. And if they choose to not fund it anymore, I think we'll have a fight on our hands. From the conversation I've had, there's no guarantee that they have to do this. They have been doing it. It was something that was agreed upon, and they are carrying this forward. So the marketing that we do with Cameo, we should probably look at that closer. What we do moving forward, if we only have money for 2 years, I think we're going to be hard pressed to budget for marketing on the levy side. We have a lot of, I won't say other things to take care of, but it's going to be a battle.
it's just definitely something we have to be mindful of going forward.
So how much time do you think notice we'll have when we say, okay, here's what's happening? We don't have any idea, do we? Well, the reason I'm
My
asking is
crystal ball says
yeah.
all bets are off.
Well, finish. What does the crystal ball say? Well, the reason I'm saying that is because if there's going to be a big shift like that, then we may want to adjust some of the things. We may want to do a surge. We may want to do something like that and just say, okay, we're coming to an end. Let's give it everything we got and then let it go rather than just kind of dwindle it. So there's different approaches you can take knowing when you know if your budget's going to die or be lessened. So as we do it, we can take a good look at different ways. We might be able to adjust cost. I was looking at some of the results on things too. I think that there's some adjustments we might want to talk to Cameo about.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's something to think about.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, and I believe we probably will start our budget sessions with the council in October, would be fair guess.
End of August.
But regarding this part too, maybe? I don't know.
We should have a conversation about it, yeah.
Yeah, so we, we'll be looking at it going forward in more detail next month probably and forward. So I just want to bring that to everybody's attention for now on that. And we will discuss that a little bit more in detail under
7.
item 7. So I guess if there's no further immediate discussion on this, if someone would like to make a motion to approve the reports.
I guess before I were to make that motion, I do have a question on how our social media archiving budget is already so high up, but I guess that's
a Dustin question. I asked him about it, and it is because they switched from one archiving company to a different one, from what I understand. So it's, yeah, you'd have to ask him for the details.
okay.
And I know there was, one of those items was like for 3 years, so I don't know if that was it or not. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, I'm not sure. And I don't believe that item is specifically just because of the marketing social media. I think it has to do with some of the other things that we do through the website possibly, or through some of those other.
For social media archive, it covers all of our Facebook pages, so that's the fire department, police department, everybody.
Okay. All right.
I guess I'll make a motion to approve the report as filed.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Okay, just a quick update on the shared photo library release form. Hallie, if you want to elaborate on that a little bit.
For those who have it, I sent out the releases. These are what we're going to use for the videos and photographs that we get in, and people that would be in face valued photos. So I think with just tweaking the wording to photo owner and photographer, and then on the other page, video recording and or photo, I think those will be good. Krista made those up for us.
And then would we automatically give credit to everyone whose
Yep, so
photos we use?
yeah, so it'll go into the Google Drive, and each individual photographer would have their file with their release in there, so we know who to give credit to, who the person was, and the description of the photo.
Okay. And then, did you guys decide you were going to pre-approve the photos before you put them in, rather
Yeah.
than having
Correct.
people submit them and put them in themselves?
Right.
Correct.
Okay, yeah, that seems to make the most sense. All right. Anything else on that at
I have
all?
a question.
Sure.
Yeah, just like on the permission form, it says photo and video. The photograph submission, just as photograph, is there going to be one for video submission as well? Or can we just kind of do a double duty on that one as well?
We can do double duty.
Yeah, because I think if people have videos of maybe their kids playing or whatever that they want to give or something like that, just do double duty on this one as well.
On this one.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, the next item is a video production update, and I think Hallie and Draco and Nathan have been working on some videos that they wanted to kind of just preview for us real quick, so.
These are the 3 that we have completed so far.
This could be your Wednesday. We have some seriously fantastic bike trails, such as our River Bend Trail. Why not make a trip of it and experience more to life in Merrill? This could be your Thursday. We have great kayaking options, whether you're looking for a casual paddle or a proper challenge. So what are you waiting for? Come experience more to life in Merrill. This could be your Friday. We have miles of gorgeous ATV trails, as well as a great community around them. So why not take things off-road and experience more to life in Merrill?
Okay.
Whose voice is that?
Draco's. I love it.
I know.
One question on there, just double check. It looks like the logo's distorted.
That could be a Google Drive thing.
Okay, just from a branding perspective.
Yeah, they had to be quick because they can only be the 15 seconds
Sure.
long, but to get them started, I thought these were good.
I would try a different voice.
Okay.
A little happier voice. Not dungeon voice. I don't know. I think
Part of that
Radio.
dungeon voice that you're hearing
Yeah.
might also be for the fact that the high school has put us basically in a dungeon. So
I just would like to hear a different voice and then have something to compare it to.
So right now, I'm not disagreeing with you, Bob, that I would like to hear more voices, see more faces, that sort of deal when as we move forward with these.
Yeah.
But the problem is we are already way too late on these, and it's just kind of a
We're very limited.
we're being very limited with what we have right now. So it's kind of we're kind of just moving forward with these is the plan right now.
As you move forward, one of the things you may consider is the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday thing is kind of unique, but at the same time, it kind of time slots people, and it could be just, on any day you spend in Merrill, you could be doing this. Any day you spend in Merrill, you could be doing this. Any day you spend in Merrill, you could be doing this. That way it gives people a little broader perspective of the week. So, but just something to think about for future ones. I know you got a timeline on these, but maybe for future ones, you kind of shift it to let people pick the day they want to do the activity.
Because some of the other ones, they're in the editing phase right now. I should say the rest of them are, except for Mr. Fink went on vacation for the rest of the week and won't be back till Monday, Tuesday. He'll be back, but. So we were hoping by probably Thursday these would all be done and out. We can make some editorial changes to the audio that wouldn't be as huge of an issue, but
Just a recommendation, something to think about if you're going to do future ones, or if you can change these.
If you have ideas that would, of what should be said, that could definitely help.
That'd be the only thing I would change.
Well,
Any day is a good day for kayaking.
Yep, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Any day rather than Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or whatever.
And I do agree with Bob, a voice that's a little bit more upbeat or a little bit,
More positive.
not so flatlined kind of thing.
we could try to find someone, I guess.
Rod's willing. Any other comments on them? I think they look good otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Try our best.
Well, keep her going. You guys are doing good. Appreciate it.
I guess one last thing is I've already started working on pre-filming stuff for August 1, putting out a schools and homes for people to move into production. Hopefully next week I'll do some filming, and then after that get that
To us.
to everybody, so that way people can kind of look at it and give their thoughts on that. So that's the last update I have on it, unless Hallie's got something else.
Nope.
Sounds good. Any other comments? Okay. We'll move on to the discuss and approve standing banner designs. I think Sarah and Hallie were working on these together.
So really, I just brought basic design options. The photos I'm just using as placeholders because I wanted to discuss, first of all, if you're only doing 2, do you want 2 of the like Swish Mimic M's? Do you want 2 of the 4-picture ones? And then we have to decide whether you want like the Merrill Chamber logo at the bottom or if you just want it to be basic text on the bottom. And then also what kind of imagery do you want? Because experience more to life, if you want more like buildings or historic type things, I'm picturing it being more like your ads where it would be like a picture of the manufacturing world and then a picture of the park, people playing whatever down below. But this is really, obviously, you guys tell me what you want, if you even like it at all. But I wanted to show a mix of photos to see what you guys thought, and then also just the mix of chamber logo versus just plain text, and if it's just plain text or whatever you want, I guess. So just know it's placeholder photos before I got too far into it, and I can go get more shots, whatever, what the timeline is, all of that.
Questions. First off, how much were each of these banners again?
I want to say about $300, but I mean, that's where we got them. You can obviously price them out and go someplace different too, but.
Okay, just wanting to make sure, because obviously we were talking earlier about being fiscally responsible with what money we do have.
And when we ordered them, it was like we needed them, so we kind of just went with one of the first ones and we knew we could get
Chamber's
them in,
doing what the chamber needs to do,
Right.
obviously, and we're just looking at.
But the ones you got for $350, they were like a blind, right? They slid
Yep.
down into a
Yep.
casing. It's not a static.
No.
A static one would be a lot cheaper.
I understand. I understand that. I'm just making sure that you know these aren't 4 figures or above for some ungodly reason. You know.
No, we don't have that kind of budget either.
Well, I'm aware of that one too, but that's just you know.
I like the 4-picture one, the B1, better than either one of those other 2. This
I agree.
Yeah.
And I mean, it does look different when you have different images in them,
Yep.
but yeah. I agree. The 4 one is nice to be able to showcase more, but it's just mimicking the M.
The
in the
the
logo.
only thing that I would like out of the 4-picture one is a little better of a divider, I guess, between the 4. You know, just even a simple line going. You know, that would be the only thing I would say that, but that's just an artistic, you know, preference of mine. I don't know how everyone else would feel about that, but because that's really what drives me away from the M1.
Are we approving this right now? Is that what-
No, you're
Oh.
giving me what you guys want. Do you want 2 4-picture ones, or do you want one of each? Do you want 2 swishy ones? I know at one point you said you wanted 2. It doesn't have to be 2, but, and then also what type of photos do you want in them? Because obviously these don't look well together. I just wanted to give you guys options of what like buildings look like versus the fair, or what someone frisbee golfing looks like versus 3 Arch Bridge, those types of things.
So I
And
like
then again, what
the
the
4,
bottom.
the 4 one. I think like you said, you know, we need to recommend or help with some of the imagery that's going to go in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you know what we need to be cognizant of is what pictures are next to each other, which you're very aware of. You don't want a real busy picture next to another really busy picture. So if you have a busy picture, you're going to want a simple picture next to it so that it helps the eye flow. I just think that, you know, 2 done in this style would be just fine. It'd be easier to. You know, we could just pop them in there.
I have an idea for the 4 photos that would kind of help us. Well, let's just say 4 if we're only going to get 1, right?
Okay.
It just because the simple thing to say is, okay, what are we trying to market? Well, we're trying to market our outdoors along with our businesses,
At our schools
along with our schools and our homes.
and jobs.
Yeah. because the businesses would basically help provide the jobs. So you could get a picture of, just your downtown area, picture of your schools, picture of a neighborhood, and then picture of the outdoors. And that would help. It's my thought, but I'm one person.
We could take a look at what we have already using in the ads too. I know we wanted to update some of the housing pictures in there. From a business perspective, we do want to we take a look at business. You bring up an interesting point, Nathan. There's two ways to looking at the business picture, because what we're pushing for are jobs. We want people to come here to move and work. And so do we want to highlight that type of a working situation as we are with our ads? Or do we want to highlight, as you mentioned, the businesses downtown on Main Street? I don't know the answer to that. I think that's a discussion.
Yeah, I mean, because if you're looking at it, our local businesses help provide jobs.
Mm-hmm.
They help provide a living wage, and it really helps the city because, let's face it, the money doesn't leave the area, then it stays in the area. So
at the end of the day, where is this going to be used to?
Right.
If it's local community night out event, or is it you guys are going to go to?
Yeah, we won't be
I don't know.
going like the chamber will be going
Right.
so much unless you need to use ours to go in two different directions.
Right,
kind
which
of
we
thing.
might have to do once or
But,
twice, but
I'm trying to figure out if it's worth the cost.
that's kind of a question I have as well, but that's because if we're only going to use it for, say, community night out or food truck-a-palooza, maybe, I mean, where else are we going to use?
We did talk about using them at the fair, the Bierman Building entrance in there, and so.
This came up at the Synergy Summit, where they had booths along the side, and this is what kind of was the impetus for the thought for doing this, because the chamber had wonderful banners sitting up there. We had a blank background.
Right.
I think going with one would probably suffice and would be helpful for the budget. So, and I think that would give us that flexibility, and we wouldn't be thinking, God, where are we going to put these? What are we going to do with it? But it gives us that tool in our toolbox when we need it. But it's not something we have to worry about, we spent this money on, and we need to actively think about a gazillion different ways to use it. If you did two, you could put one right in here at City Hall and then use one that's a traveling display. That might be a thought as well for two. But those are things to think about.
and they also make like the tabletop type standing roller banners as well. So I don't know what the cost is on those, if they're any cheaper, but just another idea for what you would use them for. But again, that goes back to if it's staying local, then what type of local photography and how do you want to make sure it's marketed? Because Experience More to Life, that still is relevant to anyone living here, but then featuring your parks or whatever might be another way to look at it too, because are they actually experiencing more to life while they're living here?
Right.
Your friendly grocery store bag handler or something, you know what I'm getting at, like,
Yeah, I thought we were
small
using this
shop.
for our traveling stuff. We're going to sports shows, we're going to business shows.
That's all.
We're not doing that. The chamber
We're not
does
doing that. The chamber is doing that.
Do that.
I would say, kind of along what Nathan said, to come up with the things that kind of back what our branding message has been, things along those lines. I would design for one, if we can look at the pricing and see what the pricing is versus one versus the other, we can make that final decision, or if there's a shorter one or whatever. I would like to see, instead of the chamber thing on the bottom, maybe just the city stuff on the bottom, so that it's there for our city stuff. Those are my thoughts, so.
Mayor's home phone number?
No.
Oh,
Sarah, if I were to get you 4 photos to try to throw in there, could you bring that back to us then next month?
Oh, for sure. And I can also, obviously use my database of photos too. Just remember to, like, when you're looking at your photos, if you're just sending me 4, like,
Well, I'll send,
how it'll fit in.
Yeah, I'll send you more than 4 so that way you
Gotcha,
have.
but 4 types,
but 4
genres,
types
yes.
of
Yep.
that would.
Yep.
In order
I'll
to
see what I
kinda
can do with them, because
get-
it gets
yeah.
limited to how I can fit it, obviously, into those triangles. But yes,
Yeah,
that would
well,
be
and
totally
obviously,
fine. And that's why I needed more. I didn't want to obviously have you guys approve anything tonight. I
Right.
just wanted to make sure we had that discussion.
No. Understood, and I would also like to see, I guess, a possible vendor next month that we could look at,
Yeah, some pricing information.
just to get some pricing, to even see if this is even worth
Pursuing it
doing, because
further.
before budget, we should make a decision if we are going to do this or not, instead of continuing to do this, talk about it, and then all of a sudden find out, oh, this was all a waste of time.
Well, two things I want to say is, number one, Sarah, thank you for putting the extra chamber time
Yes.
in for the marketing
course.
committee. We appreciate it.
Yes.
So if you do get a little backed up, I'm here to help you out.
Okay, thanks.
Yep. Second is I think we need to make that budget decision before we have Sarah do any additional work. So I can look up some vendor, if you could send me your vendor, and then I've got vendors that I've used when I was at Church Mutual, get you some pricing, and then maybe we do an email correspondence on this and get it decided before then, or do we have to wait till August?
I think we had initially approved a small amount. I don't remember what it was, but we could.
I think it was like $700 if I remember correctly, so it'd be in the minutes.
But this was also before we had the budget,
Yeah.
yellow.
I'm just saying, let's just not have Sarah do any more work until we know if we're going to spend the money.
That's fine. Yeah.
I appreciate that. I'm happy
Okay.
to help, but yes, I appreciate that thought.
All right, then let's keep moving forward on this. Next item, discuss and consider the 2025 Visitor's Guide. We had approved 3 pages at the last meeting and just revamping some of the photos. I don't know, Hallie, if you've looked at any photos or if you
I
just...
haven't. But I think we only need to change a couple.
When's it due by?
August 31st. So I'll work with Scott and we'll get some new photos in here and we'll have them for the next month's meeting.
Okay, that sounds good.
I'll help you out with that.
Okay.
That sounds good. All right, updates on grant applications.
We're in progress.
Are you going to make the August 1st deadline, or are you going to have to maybe move that one out?
I'm going to try to make it.
Okay.
I'm going to try to make it. I still do have a November 1st deadline. It's just that you can't spend the money for 90 days after, like, they want to have 90 days before you start spending that money that you say you're going to use, which would put us to November 1st, December, February, which would still be okay considering when we started spending money. I just would really like to get it done earlier.
Yeah, okay.
Where's the Jim Grant Fund? Where's it? Who?
The Tourism Commission for the state of
State.
Wisconsin. Yep. And then, if that's all for the Jim Grant one,
Yeah.
the tourism grant comes from the Chamber of Commerce or through the Tourism Commission with the Chamber of Commerce. That's going to get sent out mid-August, and then the deadline is September 20th. So I'll be working on that one as well.
You writing the grant?
I just fill out the paperwork. But yes,
Okay.
kind of.
All right.
It's, no, not for the chamber.
The funding
Tourism
from-
Commission is the one that like approves and decides how much each event
Gets. Applicant gets,
Yeah,
yes.
thank you.
For the city.
Yeah.
Well, that money comes from the room tax. That's collected, part of the room tax.
Oh.
And that's how it gets divvied up through that commission or committee. Tourism,
In order to help provide more advertising outside of Merrill to get people to come in.
Yep.
All right. Anything else on the grants?
No.
Okay. Moving on, Community Night Out. Any updates for that? Just having our stuff there or whatever.
Just having our stuff
being,
there.
Being there and
We'll have the ads, handouts, and everybody had candy or treats for the kids, so we'll be doing something of that nature for them.
okay. Scott, you had a smile. What you smiling about?
I'll be UTVing up in the UP during that week.
Oh.
Looking forward to that.
You're supposed to do that in Merrill.
Well, I'm meeting my sister. They live in Michigan, and I'm meeting my sister and her family.
Okay.
Plus, I hit Harrison Hills all the time, so.
All right, item 7, Midwest Communications contract renewals. I just wanted to give everybody an update on this. Hallie and Cameo and I sat down together and discussed these. We have 2 individual contracts with them. One that expires, I think it's September 1st, and one that's November 1st. And I'm thinking to myself, it doesn't seem right that we should be able to renew a contract without it going through the budget process. Last year when we decided we wanted to do this, it was because we had eliminated that position, so it went to a COW meeting. They approved it at that time, and it went through then. But after talking to Cameo and Emily, and we discussed a little bit, and we thought it'd be better if we could extend the current contracts to the year end, and then that gives us a little bit more time also to look at how valuable we believe these are, or if we want to do any tweaking, or if we want to cut something out of them or change something in them between now and the end of the year, and then look at what we would like to possibly renew for next year. So that's kind of what I'm coming to you guys with at this point, is to see if that's a better approach, if that's an agreeable approach, because I think that way it goes through the proper budgeting channels. Also, we can come back and with their proposal for a new contract and put that into our budgeting recommendations, and it can go through council that way.
Can you confirm that this would also align the dates on the renewals then as well?
And it could be all in one contract
Yeah.
instead of having multiple.
I think that's a smart thing to do. Then there are some, based on the last 2 reports, there are some things I'd like to discuss with Cameo for tweaking for the future, so.
Okay. And I was kind of hoping it would give us a little opportunity. I'm not sure how to go about it, but to try and find out if there's any way of measuring how many people have moved here over the last year, by home sales or rentals or anything like that. So
I have talked with Kit Koski, our assessor, and he's working on a spreadsheet for that. So.
Oh, okay. Well, that'd be helpful to have something, at least to get some idea. But okay. So I guess then I would entertain a motion to extend the current contracts through the end of the year and review proposals for next year's budget.
But before I would make any kind of motion like that, I guess I just have to ask the simple question: how much is that gonna cost us to go to the end of the year? Did Cameo have any idea, or?
Well, what did our monthly? I want to say.
I do not see any.
Well, the one contract is $1,200 a month, so that would be $2,400 additional, I believe. And what is the other one?
It's a total of $36.84 a month.
Is what we're paying right now.
Between the 2 contracts.
Okay, and so one of them would be from September through the end of the year, and one of them would be just November, December.
August 31st deadline, or the contract that goes up is $1,200 a month in August, and the one that goes up in October 31st is $24.84 a month.
Okay.
So you're gonna be close to 10,000 between the 2 of them. You got 48 and 48, yeah, whatever. So you got 4 months at 1,200, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's 48, and the other one's 24 times at least 2. So you're
Getting about almost closer to 18. 36.
36 times 2. 62.
no, but one was 4 months and one's 2 months. One's November, December, and one's 4 months. So
But
you're
how
looking
much
at
is it?
48, 48. You're
Yeah,
say $10,000.
yeah.
I guess my math is off right now, but. Bob, do you have any thoughts on it, or?
My thought is to make a motion to extend the Midwest Communications contract and then review it when the new contract comes forward. That's my motion.
You said to extend it?
That's
To the first of the year?
request, Right.
Yeah, to extend it to the end of the year.
Correct.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. Any further conversation?
Not this time.
Okay, hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And those opposed? Okay. The motion carries to extend the current contracts through the end of the year and to get proposals for a new budget session. Let's see, Chamber of Commerce update. Sarah, do you have anything else to add to?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention our visitor guide ad sales are going wonderfully, and we're going to be ordering 20,000 guides for 2025's guides. We ordered 13,000 for this year, and we are down to probably less than 1,000 visitor guides left for the rest of the year, and that's awesome. We don't want them sitting in our storage shed and collecting dust. So also we're going to be going to the State Fair on August 4th. There's staff and board members that are going to be attending for one day through the Discover Wisconsin booth, and we're going to be taking visitor guides, maps, fair guides, ATV maps, all of that kind of fun stuff. So we're doing that for one day. We're going to be bringing an AI education class. We're partnering with NTC. It's going to be a 5-hour class broke up into 3 different classes. We're going to be taking about 30 class participants and obviously charging a fee, but just another opportunity for our business members and community to take advantage of all the AI stuff that's out there. Banker Square, we had our first concert this today, and it was a lot of fun. We had a great turnout, I think, for a lunchtime concert, but the point is to just bring people in to downtown, and people live here, but do they go downtown? So we're going to be having another one August 15th with David Michael Sargent, so put it on your calendars. And then last but not least, I just want to mention we have Sarah Rodriguez, who is our Lieutenant Governor for Wisconsin, visiting on Tuesday. And we're going to be focusing on the manufacturing and innovation in our town. So we're going to be visiting Sierra Pacific Windows, Weinbrenner Shoes, and then going out to Brickner's Park City to talk about their EV charging stations. So Mayor and Rod are going to hopefully be attending, as well as Renee Krieger from the county or a representative from their board. But we have notified, obviously, the Merrill Press people, and it's going to be a good thing for Merrill to get anyone from Madison here to see what we do and how we bring jobs. So, yeah.
All right, thank you. Sounds good.
Just a note that my wife and I attended the concert for lunch today, and I encourage everybody here, anybody else, to do it. It's just nice. It was a beautiful day. Just sit outside, eat your lunch. Really good artist. And it was nice to see some of the other people from the community and say hi to them. So it's a good community builder.
Thank you.
Okay.
I gotta say too, the difference that I've seen in the chamber, you guys are, I'm very proud of our chamber now compared to in the past. So I want to say thank you to you guys. You're doing a wonderful job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Discussion of any upcoming event promotions. Hallie, anything that just the usual?
Yeah, just the usual. Bob brought up that August 16th, the movie at the airport will be Top Gun. Gus's Popcorn will be there, and they'll be selling soda as well. The movie will start at 8:45.
Okay, and then I saw you had a post today about the Air Cup race or something, or what is?
Yeah, that goes on Sunday. They start in Wausau. They make a huge loop around the northern part of the state, and then the finish line is Merrill.
Over my house.
They won't necessarily stop in Merrill, but they will fly back to Wausau, and that's where they have their dinner and everything there.
Eyes to the skies.
Yes.
Okay.
And then I can also add that I went to the Airport Commission meeting last night, and they have given me 2 thumbs up to move forward with a tentative June timeframe of 2025 for an antique air show, and possibly they have to check with the powers to be, if we can do a consecutive day, do an antique air show one day, and then an RC airplane races, and then maybe sprints with RC cars. They're going to see if that's going to be allowable at the airport. They're checking into that part of it. But it could be a 2 or maybe a 3-day event. And I'm getting it rolling for June of next year.
Sounds good.
Okay?
All righty.
Cars in there too.
Any other things that Rod?
Well, I think before our next meeting, I think the ATV races will be at the Festival F grounds. And then
Is that what we're calling it now, the F ground?
I think there's a state barbecue cook-off at Nelson's that same weekend, so
Yes.
some good
And
stuff.
Then the fair.
The fair.
The fair's before that, yeah,
Yeah. August
ATV races are-
7th through the 11th.
at the fairgrounds.
Yeah, at the
What's
fairgrounds.
the date of the ATV races?
I thought it was July 27th.
No, it's in August.
August 17th, sorry.
Yeah.
August 17th.
Last year was the 27th.
I gotta get out more.
You need to check your calendar more, Bob.
I know, there's so many calendars though.
All right. Moving on, we will go to the monthly reports from Hallie. Did anybody have any questions on anything? Or Hallie, do you want to point to anything specific out that you want to highlight, or?
No, I think we're good, unless there's questions.
Okay.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again, and I'll continue to say it. You're doing a wonderful job.
Thank you.
All right, and then we have the monthly report from Midwest Communications. Cameo and Connor were here last month and kind of went through the quarterly report on it.
You know, with regard to the report this month, we saw it with, the social end. We're seeing it with this. It's just summer. So you're seeing a little bit of decline and participation. People aren't in front of their computers as much, but they are in front of their phones. But there are some things that I'm going to pull out just to ask Cameo about, so that as we prepare for the first of the year, there might be some adjustments we want to make based on some of the click-through rates and some of the views and some of the things that are going like that. I think that they'd be a willing partner to maybe tighten things up a little bit, because we have it spread out a lot, different sizes and different things like that just aren't pulling.
Right.
So eliminate them and save those costs.
Yeah, okay. Well, we certainly appreciate any input on that, because this is Greek to me, so just, there's a pie chart. I see that the job section got bigger than it was last time, so that's my interpretation of the
And it's
report.
not quite Greek to me, but it's Spanish, and my Espanol is no bueno.
I'm
So-
hiring 10 next week.
No, I know. I get it. What's going on in there? So I'll just do a little bit deeper dive for you before we do it.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, then I would entertain a motion to place the reports on file.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay. And then public comment. Does anybody have any public comment? Doesn't look like there's too many public here.
None
They're all in
from the
the
peanut
park.
gallery.
They're all out in the park gazebo tonight. All right, let's call for public comment. Anyone on the phone? Nope. Okay, then I guess the date and time of the next meeting is scheduled for Thursday, August 15th at 5:15. Does that work for everybody on the committee?
Sure.
All right. Then I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Moved.
Okay, moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everybody, for coming.